Hi guys, in this video I'm going to work through an exam question about writing music in different clefs and changing octaves. This is quite a long video, but it's quite an involved question. So look at the melody below, answer the questions below, 30 marks, which is a good chunk of what we need to pass. So A, the melody is in F major with F do. Write the solfa underneath the notes in the above excerpt. So before I start doing that, I'm going to just set up a few things first. So first of all, they've told us it's F do, so that's nice. We could have worked it out ourselves, but it's nice when we already know. So let's just make myself a wee note that that's do. I'm also going to look at this key signature and remind myself that that there means B flat. And then the next step's optional, but if you want to, you can write yourself a little kind of solfa number line. For some people, it's really helpful when you're going up and down on the stave to be able to do this, especially if we're going backwards. Okay, so now we're all ready to start writing the solfa underneath. So last flat's fa, one note up, there's a sol. This is a bit of a tricky customer because it's got an extra accidental sign. So let's go over here and let's write myself a little ladder. So that's my natural, my sharp, and my double sharp. And then down from natural is a flat. And then down again is a double flat. So in this piece, we're expecting B flats for fa. And here we have a B natural. So it can't just be fa. Natural is a half step higher than flat. So a half step higher than fa becomes fi. And this one here, there's been a bar line there, so this natural is not affecting that note. It affects all the notes on that line till here, and then it stops. So this is just back to being a normal fa. When you get to notes like this, you don't have to do the little comma thing underneath to show it's low, because you can see the note on the stave, so you know it's low, but you can if you want to. There's nothing stopping you. We've got this note again. We already know that's fi. And then the flat is taking us back to the normal note, because that was we already knew it was going to be a B flat, so that means this is going to be a fa. This, we're expecting me to just be a normal A. There's nothing here about A's, so we're expecting me to be a normal A natural, and now we've got an A flat. So what's that doing? If we were on a natural and we became flat, that's a half step down. So half step down from me, is mo. Here we are again, E flat. So there was nothing about E flat, so E natural must be the normal note. We would expect that to be T. But for E natural, for T, and then down a half step, that becomes to. A done. So bar 1. Here's an important part. We need to choose the correct notes. We are not writing all of these notes, only bar 1. So only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only these 5 notes up to that point. And we want them to be an octave lower. So this is where we've got to know all about our middle C positions. So this first note in the written piece is a C, and it's the octave above middle C. Okay, so if we want to make that the octave down, it becomes middle C. Okay, so we want it to start on middle C. I'm going to write myself a wee note. Remember to add the key signature. Let's do that first. So a B flat. So I'm going to just copy it across for treble clef, nothing changes. When you're doing it, make sure that the little window of your flat shows the line or space you're meant to be on. Mine's kind of wonky. So the line for B should be showing inside the flat window. Time signature. Okay, 5-4, easy. By the way, if it helps you at this point, you can also write like that's a C, that's a B. Right? If that helps you to do that, then do that. Okay. The solfa might help you do that as well. So I need a C, and it's going to become middle C because I need it to drop down an octave. So middle C. B natural, one note down from middle C. Middle C. A, 2 notes down from middle C. And then F, 2 more notes down. Okay, now these notes up here have stems going down because they're higher on the stave. These ones are low on the stave, so they all need a stem going up. The stems rule is pod. It needs to either be a P or a D, right? Not quab. Okay? If your notes are looking like a Q or a B, something's gone wrong, or a lollipop for that matter. Again, hopefully less wonky than mine. Right. Okay, so treble clef, done. Alto clef. Key signature first. So we need a B flat in alto clef. So this middle line, the centre line there, is going to be middle C. So we want our flat to show one note down from there. So that's space just under that line. That's where we want the flat to be, 5/4. Okay, so now we're not making it an octave lower than this. It's an octave lower than that, which is the same as this, okay? So we need a middle C first. Middle C lives on that centre line. In this type of clef, wonky. B natural. So one note down, we're in a space. We need a natural sign. The wee window of the natural sign should show the space as well. Back up to the first note again, middle C. 2 notes down. And 2 notes down again. I should maybe have lined those up a bit better. Let's make this look a little neater. Okay. Now for my stems, pod. This note head is right in the centre of the stave, so I get to pick. I'm just going to make it go up. This one's closer to the bottom, so it should go up. Either way, I'm picking up. This one kind of should go up, and so should this. Okay. Tenor clef, similar idea. B flat. Let's find the middle C line, and then one note down is a B flat. So this space here, 5/4. I need a middle C to start with. So that's this line. A B natural, so one step down. It's in a space, add the natural sign to that space. Back to the first note again. 2 notes down for the A, 2 notes down again. Okay, stems rules, pod. These 1, 2, 3 notes are in the top half of the stave, so that means their stem should hang down. Because if I put it up, it's like sticking up over here. Hopefully maybe you would notice that that wasn't quite right and you would change it. This one's right in the centre, I get to pick. I'm going to go up. Ooh, a bit like a lollipop. I think that better. Slightly better. And then this one's near the bottom as well, so it should go up. Final one, bass clef. We need to find where a B lives in bass clef for that B flat. So the way I remember it is these 2 dots are showing me an F. F, E, D, C, B. So that second line from the bottom. The line for B flat should be showing in the flat window. My first note is going to be middle C. So middle C in bass clef sits up here. Because remember, bass clef showing you the bottom part of the stave. B natural. So I need to go 1 note down. So that's in that space there. I need my natural sign. I need to go back to middle C. 2 notes down from my A, which is there on the line. 2 notes down from my F, which is there on the line. Okay, stems rules. These are all high on this stave, so all these stems need to hang down like a P. Not like this. Part C. Write the last 2 bars, okay, so not the first bar anymore, on the stave below in the key of G major, with G do, in treble clef. Remember to add the key signature and time signature to each line. Okay, last 2 bars is this section here. So actually, some of it, the beginning part looks the same as we just had, but it carries on and it goes a bit different. Treble clef, let's start with that. We know how to do that. Draw a treble clef, like this. Now, in the key of G major with G do. So I need to add the key signature for G major. This is a kind of tricky part that not all of you might know how to do straight away. If you come to a question in the exam like this, and you're stuck going, oh my goodness, I can't remember how to do this, and I can't think what G major is, you know that G is meant to be do, so just go with that. Just make sure you put your do on the G line and then carry on, okay? Make a plausible guess if you need to for what the key signature would be, but make sure you put your G as Do and then carry on, okay? Don't waste loads and loads of time panicking about that in the exam. Just make a plausible guess, then move on so you can pick up the rest of the marks. If I know that G is Do, if I was going to guess, hey, I think G major has sharps. I feel like that rings a bell. The last sharp will be T, so that would be F sharp. Let's just go with that as my plausible guess and then carry on. And as it turns out, I would have been right, okay? So G major has one sharp, which is F sharp, T, and that leads you to G Do. Okay? If you weren't sure and you guessed flats and you made the last flat Fa and you carried on, then it would be incorrect, but it wouldn't lose you that many marks if you made a plausible guess, okay? So I don't want you to get completely hung up on that and spend all your time on that. Right, I need 2 bars, so I've done my double bar line at the end. I'm going to do my bar line right in the middle to help me remember and space out my notes. What I want is to now just copy the solfa underneath, okay? Because I'm not doing anything changing the solfa for here, right? Hang on, time signature. So let's put the solfa in. So I need in this bar, I'm going to need So. And then in this bar, I'm going to need Re. Let's go back and find out what a So looks like in this key signature. Okay, so I can't just copy the lines and spaces because that's a different key signature. I've got to work out the lines and spaces using this key signature. So if G is Do, that is here. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So. On that line there as a D. Okay. Fi, well, it's some type of Fa, which so we know it's going to live in this space here. In the key signature, it doesn't say anything about C's, okay? So normal C. Here on my wee ladder. Normal C would be Fa. I'm wanting to make Fi, so I need to go up. So that means I add a sharp sign. Make sure the window of my sharp shows the space where a C lives, okay? Now I'm going back to normal Fa. So normal Fa would have been a normal C. So I need a C here. And then I need to add a natural sign. Otherwise, this sharp is going to affect that note if I don't put something in front of it. Mi. One step down. There is a normal B. Mo. So it's got to be in the same line or space as Mi. And a Mi is just a normal B, right? There's nothing telling me about B's in this key signature. Mo is going down from Mi, so that needs a B flat. And the window of my flat should show that middle line. It kind of does. Right, next, Re is here. Do is here. And then Ta. So we know it's going to be in this space down here because it's got to be in the same position as T would have been, which is an F. Okay, so normally we'd have an F sharp in this piece. So normal T would be F sharp. And then Ta takes us down a half step, so this is going to become an F natural. Like this. And then the last one's going back to Do. I've spotted that it's supposed to be an unfilled note head because it's going to become a minim, but you know, you can always rub that out if you didn't miss it. Right, back to the beginning. Stems, pod. High up stem needs a line hanging down, and they're all just tas until the end, which is nice and easy. This one I get to pick. I'm just going to keep going down since I'm on a roll. This one I'm going to go up because it's in the bottom half of the stave. Okay, all done.